Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Nation. That's Barbecue Nation. I'm JT, along with my co-host, co-commander, and co-golfer on the new show we've got coming out a little later. We'll talk about that more in the show. Dave and Chris are doing whatever they do in the back. We'd like to thank the folks at Painted Hills Natural Beef, beef the way nature intended. And we've got a real treat today. We've got Tina Cannon with us. Tina, if you watch barbecue on TV, if you will, she was the winner of the Netflix American Barbecue Showdown. She's been on Food Network Discovery. She's a celebrity chef. She's got 35 years in the culinary industry. And the most important thing, she's been an executive chef and an owner, but she's been a sous chef. And I think that's really important. I do. I'm just saying
they do all the work.
They do all the work.
Hey, I've even dishwashed, so did it.
Yeah. Well, first of all, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank y'all.
We'll get to kind of Tina's historical stuff a little later, but what was your experience like on Netflix? Leanne and I have both done reality shows. We have kind of mixed emotions about them, more mixed than emotion. But tell us about your experience on that.
Well, it was a long, hot 21 days. I know that's right, because, we filmed it in months that didn't appear to when it is, that's TV.
Right.
But, I think overall it was a great experience, honestly. Even though, yes, it's considered reality, you can always come up, this is a few years later now that, since it was filmed, you can always take away more positive than bad. It's like, I guess, childbirth, even though I don't have kids, you don't remember the pain. Because it was long days and it was very, very hot and very grueling. But when they edited it, it actually made it seem very kumbaya-ish. I thought, you know what I mean?
What's so amazing to me in the shows is that you pretty much have a dedicated camera person on each person, right? So it isn't like they're going around with one camera. So how they edit these shows with all of the footage, especially 21 days, I doubt they filmed the whole 21, but even say it's 10 days of 10 pit masters, 12 hours a day, and they got to get it down a 1 hour show. I'm just amazed that they can edit the way that they do and capture like the cool moments. To me, it's a really incredible job they do.
Yeah. Well, I was on Barbecue Brawl too, like you were. And it was very different, Food Network and Netflix. Netflix had a lot more camera operators. They had those little mounted cameras above us. We had 2 people on us all the time. There was a lot more involved in Netflix. I mean, it was unbelievable. They had the cameras that are on the wires, like you see at football games. They had some things that they did not air, because COVID happened after that. And I think the world was wanting something different. Like we all got along and everything was great, But, it's very hard when you have to be sequestered with the same people of all different types of people for 21 days. Because even on what's called the dark days, which means that's the days of their union, they have days that people have, can't work on those days. I guess it's like air traffic controllers, the same thing. We have to eat everything but sleep in the same room, and that was discouraged. But you have to do everything with them: breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Right.
And then you have to worry because you're mic'd up all the time. Like, what if you just on your dark day you just wanted to stay in your room and veg and watch TV? You're so keyed up, you don't want them to use that be against you. You want to be very positive and up all the time. Because you don't really know what to expect. You just don't. And that
I find that when you're mic'd up, you forget the mic is there after a while. And you sometimes catch yourself like, oh my God, I'm mic'd up.
I know I've said this on podcast before. I think I was on a show in 2014, which if you took a potty break, they turned it off, even though they were in there with you. And they turned it back on. My experience with Netflix, and I don't know if this is their policy, I don't know, I'm just saying what happened to me. It was on all the time. And the very last day when I was waiting to see who won, whatever happened, I went into the ladies' room, and while I was in there, I said a quick prayer. And it was so crazy after it was over and they filmed me and I found out I won and I was outside and I went, woo. He said, my producer, you're assigned to somebody that's with you all the time, said, that prayer worked, didn't it?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God, they've heard me in the bathroom. That was the last day, the 21st day. Every time I've been in here. And I didn't even think about it till then. I went,
Yeah.
oops.
I guess that's why I didn't do very good, Leanne, on my reality show, because like
pray.
I probably did the opposite, yeah, but she was saying
And
how
I didn't pray for a win. I prayed that, just get me through this. Cause I was like, when at the end of it, that was like true. That was not acting. When I kind of fell and Rashid caught me, I was like, I was so exhausted. We'd been up 24 hours and I was just totally exhausted and stressed out to the max. I was at my very end of my rope, for sure. Yeah. So that was not like I'm not a actress, so it was not acting. So I was really, really surprised and of course happy.
Yeah. Well, of course.
Hard to get woohoo, when you're exhausted.
Right.
Sometimes though, when you're producing something, that's when you get actually the best reactions, is when people are pressed to their absolute frayed limits.
Yeah.
And then
I think you're right. Because with Ashley, he when he ripped his sleeves off of his shirt, that was all real. I mean, they feed you stuff to try to get you to egg each other on and stuff.
Right.
Some people go for it and some don't. I really didn't, because that's just not me to be mean to somebody. But he was really, really exhausted, I think, and at the end of his rope when that happened. And he kind of like, I thought he was going to leave. I mean, he was very stressed out. So that most everything on there, I think, was real. I don't, they did, like I say, egg a few things on, and a couple cast members, I think they asked to do certain things, but I wasn't asked to do anything. They wanted me to kind of badger a little bit, that's just not really me.
My producer asked me to tell the truth, and I looked in the camera and I said, you really want me to tell the truth? And the camera guy, who I'd made friends with, went, no.
Cut.
So that was the end of my reality series right there.
People don't really realize, that I mean, I know y'all do, but they are talking to you the entire time. So when you're talking out loud, you're really talking to someone, but people just don't see that. And then when the hardest part really too was 3 days later, when they ask you about a certain dish. Okay. I was like, what? I don't even, what did I make? I mean, I had to ask them so I could like remember that day, or they would have to show you on their phone. See, this is when I'm like, oh, okay. To remember, because you're so tired and have to be so keyed up all the time and on your toes, because they're filming from above. This show did from the sides. They had one on the table. They had somebody right here, like right on you. So when you're cooking, I don't think I was ever on less than 3 cameras ever.
Yeah. But that makes what they can produce and edit into a great show. Instead of just a single camera and one poor camera guy running around with his tongue hanging out trying to catch everything.
That would be difficult. They had I can say I learned a whole lot about that end of seeing all the special equipment. And they had these cameras that you actually wear. And I kept calling the guy RoboCop because he wore, and when he walked, I mean, it moves like on a geosphere or something like that. Forgive, it's the wrong word. Sorry, but y'all know what I mean. It would move and I guess keep things level. It was Ronin or something like that. They called it. It was really, really, really cool.
It's called a jib.
Okay, but he wore.
Yeah, they have jibs you can wear. They're like a steady cam, and you can it goes like that. Yeah.
You know more than me. I'm just a cook, you know.
Well, yeah,
Mhm.
it's I had to learn too, though. That's
Yeah.
and Leanne's going to get a big lesson here in about a month, so
Uh-oh.
it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Don't worry, there,
I'm
co-pilot.
not worried. I'm
You're-
good.
You're all good.
I'm
You're-
calm.
She'll be ready. You know, I was
Okay.
on the first show I was on in 2014 was on the Travel Channel. You know, and then I think my 5th show. So it's kind of cool that I've been on different networks
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
see how different they operate. Like the
Mhm.
first show I was on, you have an attorney sitting with you all the time. That's the way they did it. And it was classified as a game show because we won money, you know.
Yeah.
So maybe that was very different, how they sequestered it, how long they filmed it, that kind of thing. And then I go and I did the BBQ thing for like 3 seasons, and that was more of a very budget, more operation kind of thing. They only had, you know, a couple camera people and editors, you know, and then doing I did a recent one on one of the country networks, and you know, that was a very shoestring type budget too. So I did some higher end, and then of course Barbecue Brawl Food Network, big budget, but they were all very different.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
You
They'll
know?
do that.
Yeah, and I
They'll do
learned
that.
something from each one and got to meet a lot of cool people.
There you go. We're going to take a break here on Barbecue Nation on USA Radio Networks. Leanne and I and Miss Tina Cannon will be back with you very shortly. Please stay with us. Hey, welcome back to Barbecue Nation. I'm JT along with Leanne Whippen. If you want to contact us, call Leanne. Don't call me. You can just go to barbecuenationjt.com. There's a thing there, a drop down box. You can fill it out, send it in, and we will respond. Also, we're on Facebook with Barbecue Nation and our respective personal Facebooks and Twitter. Leanne's on Twitter. I'm on Twitter. Tina's on Twitter. Tina follows me now, and I follow her. We do all that. So very easy to get a hold of us if you have a question or a comment. We're very fortunate to have Tina Cannon with us today. Tina has been on a number of challenging TV shows over the years, and she's got a really cool history here, and we're going to talk about that. How did you get started? I don't mean in the television aspect, but when Leanne was on the show the first time, man, I had to pry it out of her. Not really. How she worked with her dad coming up and got her involved in barbecue and all that. How did you start?
Y'all are gonna just really laugh, but you know, I grew up eating everything burnt on what my dad cooked.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say what really got me into the competitive part of it was watching a show called Pitmasters.
Ah, that's her right up there.
Yeah. So when I saw the show, I had already been cooking because like my 10th birthday gift was a can I say a brand? Sorry.
Yeah,
It was okay, a Weber grill. That's what I asked for when I was 10 years old. So I had always kind of, you know, grilled, and I used to go to Girl Scout camp and asked to go cook with the boys on the open fire just because I liked it. You know, my grandfather was a great cook. So I have that history, but nothing like Leanne, you know, with the family business and all of that. Mine was just, I liked barbecue. My papa did it. My dad burned everything. He was kind of a gas cook, but I really liked it. And when I got the opportunity to start going to like Girl Scout camp, back then it was Girl Scouts, they would let me go over because I wanted to cook and I was trying to earn a badge. So I would go every year until I was higher up in the Girl Scouts and got, I guess, too old for that. And I just loved to cook on open fire. You know, for that, you don't do anything too technical. We always hot dogs, hamburgers, sausage, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But when I saw the show Pitmasters on TV, I was like, I mean, you know, we just watched it. My husband and I watched it all the time. And it was just a freak time when I decided to go and compete. I know I've told this story before. It's kind of, I'll try to shorten it if you'd like to know. But I was cooking a bunch of barbecue for a bunch of workmen and workwomen that was at our house because there were some storms that came through, Lynn, like you've experienced recently. Mm-hmm. But it ripped our roof off. So we, you know, and did a lot of damage. So we were having to have a new roof put on. So they were working really hard because there was another storm coming through. So I just got that it was a Brinkman, if I can say a brand, that we got free with points off a card or something like that. And the guy thought that gosh, this is really good barbecue. Of course, he says to my husband, which is from New Jersey, and sorry, Lynn, barbecue to them is, putting a hot dog on the grill. That's what they call it north is barbecue. We down here, we call it, that's grilling, So he mentioned how good it was and talked about a contest. And he gave my husband the application. And I filled it out, went and won.
Well,
and then you get the bug. You get that, a little bit of money. And the trophies I actually have on the other side of the room here, because it was the first ones ever got. And I won like $100 a category or something like that. Well, then I got the bug. You win once. Well, so I started competing, and that was that. And, I got some calls, but I never got like anything better than 10th place for, I think, a couple of years at least. And then I had a really good year, once I went pro, like 2015, I won the Georgia State Championship across the board, all categories. So, that was a good year. And I won it Firewoman Challenge at World Food, and that was a good year, earned quite a bit of money. And then in the last year, I haven't really competed in like KCBS or any of the FBA or any of that. I haven't competed because I've been really concentrating on more teaching people. So I think it's a lost art. People aren't low and slow cooking anymore.
No, that's true. And that's one thing that is kind of interesting to me. And Leanne, we've never actually talked about this with each other. Barbecue, traditional, low and slow, that type of thing, smoking, whatever. And everybody would kind of preach it. And then this is kind of one of the dichotomies. And then they try to figure out how to cut the corner on the time as they go forward.
Yeah, hot and fast.
Yeah, do a little hot and fast on them there. What you've never told me about your thoughts on that, Leanne.
I am still low and slow, true blue. I've tried hot and fast. Maybe I just don't know how to do it properly. Sorry, Myron. But I feel like he's the one that really brought it to the forefront in competition and through the shows. It doesn't work for me. I can cook a little bit hotter, rather than 225, go 275 with success. But when, the briskets at 350 or whatever they're doing, I just can't wrap my head around it.
I'm not super low. I'm like 235 in a competition. I'll do 235 at night for my big meats and then ramp it up earlier in the day, and I'll go to 275. Now, I guess I know how to do it because on Netflix, everything was hot and fast. But it's just not my thing. It's just not my favorite thing. And in competition now, instead of just hot and fast, they're cutting the meat down. They're changing some of the rules. And I'm not saying that's bad or good. I'm just making comments so people don't get all upset. They're cutting it like where you can cook a 4-pound butt. Whereas, that's just, whatever. I don't do that and probably never will, but, they're making it where it is less and less time. And to me, part of barbecue and part of the art of it, in my opinion, is that low and slow breaking down the, meat. And I just like it better. It's just me.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, I have no problem firing up a gas grill to, cook something on it like that, or my pellet grill or the charcoal grill. I mean, we all can use all of them. But I just have always kind of thought it was strange that people would talk about the low and slow and then do something else. I had a guy call in years ago when I started this show, and it was actually live on a Saturday afternoon. And we were sitting in the studio in downtown, and it was getting towards the holidays, and we were talking about cooking big ribs, prime rib, folks, if you want to call it that, but we're a big rib. And he had worked at a Outback Steakhouse or something. And he said, they used to cook 25 of those a day or whatever the number was. And he said the way they did it was they'd put it in at 500 and they'd leave it for whatever it was, I don't even remember, 25 minutes, 30 minutes. And then they'd turn the ovens off and they would just let them sit there. And so I said, well, if you can do that, more power to you. But how are you going to do that in a pellet smoker or charcoal smoker and just leave it like that for hours and never open the door? You're going to run out of heat eventually, so I guess I'm with you, Leanne. I'm not that smart. I couldn't figure out how to do that properly, especially on some sort of grill. I couldn't make that work. God, we got to take another break. We're going to be back with Tina Cannon and Ms. Whippen and yours truly when we get back from this commercial message, of course. Welcome back to Barbecue Nation. I'm JT along with Leanne Whippen and Tina Cannon. Today, we'd like to thank the folks at Painted Hills Natural Beef the way nature intended. Don't forget, you can go to their website and go to their online store, and you can type in the code BBQ Nation, get 15% off. I've heard from a couple of folks lately that bought some product from them. They were very happy with it. I've been happy with it for 20 years. So please do that. And also, drum roll, please. Pig powder. That's this blonde lady sitting across the country from me looking on your screen. She has a little website called pigpowder.com. And it's one of the few places, not one of the few places, but one of the original places that you could buy pig powder, which was developed by her father, Trim Tab, and passed on now to Miss Leanne, and she sells it. She even ships it.
It won best rub on the planet amongst other awards. A lot of competitors use it, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't had one person complain to me about pig powder. Not one. Everybody loves it, and it's so versatile. And I'm not just saying that, it's true.
You want me just to make up some stuff and tell you?
I was at a coffee shop today and people were asking me about it. I need it. My family's coming in and I must have it.
Yeah.
I have another pallet coming in another week. I said, it's crazy.
That's it. So go to pigpowder.com and do that. We've got Tina Cannon with us today. Tina, of course, she was the winner in 2018 at the World Food Fire and Ice Challenge, and she was a reserve grand champion in barbecue there, and she was the original Netflix winner. She's got a long history of being, especially on television competitions, and doing very well. But one of the things that Tina does that I read about, now we've never talked. I think she and Leanne have talked before, perhaps, but I have not talked to her, is she volunteers for Meals on Wheels, and she also volunteers at a local culinary school teaching different various culinary classes. I find that great. I like to do a lot of volunteer work myself. I do it more in the golf world than I do in the barbecue world because that's just what I do. But how did you get involved? You're there in Coweta? Is that
Coweta?
Coweta, excuse me.
That's all right.
How'd you decide to jump into Meals on Wheels?
I used to donate. If you compete like Leanne, there's a lot of waste involved, and I just, food waste is kind of like one of my pet peeves because we have so many people in need in our country. And I knew a few other cooks that no longer are competing. And I said, what are you doing with all your coals, or your extra meat? And they told me. So I started donating all of my coals, all of my cooked. I would vacuum seal it and I would donate it to them. And one day I got an email from them saying, hey, do you know anybody that could help us cook? Because, I was seeing them weekly because at the time I was competing a ton, practicing a lot. Or if I was catering, I'd have, leftover that extra that I had made. And I said, well, what about me? And that was several years ago. So I've been cooking for them ever since. And I'll be probably close to 60,000 this year.
Wow.
So, and I finally actually got an official helper today.
Really?
Yeah. I got my stirring and my flipping arm. I got muscles in this arm. But and what is amazing is she came in to volunteer. And she's a Johnson and Wells graduate. So we got 2 culinary people, backgrounds. And she's in baking and pastry, which is not my thing. And mine's, more entree, saute, meats. So we're going to make a really good dynamic duo in there. So we can really cook, a lot more, because I have a lot of travel plans and events coming up. So she can handle when I'm not there. This is the first time I've actually, because I'm going on a business trip to Austin, Texas tomorrow. And I'm letting she's actually going to be by herself tomorrow. And I'm like flipping out, because I have never, ever let someone there hasn't been anyone that could, come in and do that. So I'll probably be at the airport, texting her, making sure everything's okay. But she only has to fix 250 meals tomorrow. We normally do 500 to 800 a day. So,
wow.
And we could do a lot more, but we don't have enough donations, and, we just don't have enough grants or anything to feed anymore, and not enough woman power.
There you go.
Not that we won't have, guys come in the kitchen, but typically we have a couple people, guys that help pack the food. We have 100 people that deliver all of our meals every week. And we feed people 7 days a week.
Good for you guys.
7 days a week. Yeah.
You can always get Leanne to bake for you.
Yeah.
No, I am not a baker either.
You're not, when you go to culinary school, it's so funny. I always tell a joke when you arrive, they go, "Do you like to get up early?" And I'm like, "No." They'll go, "Chef." If you say yes, baker. So
Yeah.
Right.
Separate you in culinary school. That's not true. That's just a joke.
I know, but so is Leanne baking. Not that what she makes is a joke. She just doesn't like to do
I
it.
can bake, but it is not something I enjoy. I don't like precise measurements.
Me either. Girl, me either. So, Leanne, do you remember? You probably don't, but I remember the first time I actually met you in person.
I'm terrible. I'll say
That's
no.
Okay. It was 2012, Las Vegas, Nevada, at the
Worlds. Yep.
You were cooking lamb right next to me.
Yep, that was. Yep. I made it to the final table. Yeah, that was my final dish.
Yeah,
almost made it. Almost.
Yeah, but that's where I met you. I actually cooked right next to you with Scott Smith, Qing, Stewing, and Brewing.
Oh, you remember? I was cooking with my daughter then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the first time I actually met you. You were very focused, that we didn't have a lot of chit chat, because World Food's quite busy.
Yeah.
So that's the first time I actually met you in person, and you probably didn't know, but I was super excited.
That's cool. Thank you.
Did she offer to sign an autograph for you?
No.
No, and I didn't ask, because she was really obviously busy and had made it through, and you don't want to mess with somebody really when they're trying to win,
Oh, I know.
You've been to a contest and people walk up right in the middle of your turn-in.
Isn't that the truth?
and you have to be nice, especially when she, appeared on TV and things like that. You don't want to come across, because everything comes across worse than you intended to be. So I usually will go in, and try to do all my prep as much as I can inside, when it's box turning. Yeah.
It's a great event, the Worlds. Yeah, I like to go every year. It's
I haven't been since I won there, and I'm actually going back this year.
Oh, I'll see you there.
Yeah, but guess what I'm competing in?
The fire again?
No, I'm doing something totally different.
Dessert?
Sushi.
Yes, I'm baking. No, I am doing seafood.
Oh, good.
Good for you.
That's fun.
I haven't made any announcement yet, but I've taken on a new sponsor that I'll probably be announcing next week. And they've offered to partner with me, and hopefully I can produce something.
Well, good luck to you. That's awesome.
Thank you, because I haven't announced that I was going. I'm so glad that I was on here with y'all tonight.
It's right around the corner.
I haven't told anybody but my family and Meals on Wheels. Hey, I'm going to be gone for 4 days in November, 5 days. So I haven't told anybody yet. So now y'all know, and whenever
All right.
this
Well, best
airs,
of luck,
everybody,
really.
will know.
Yeah.
Leanne, are you judging or are you competing?
I'm judging. I'm a master judge down there. Yeah. I used
That's
to
awesome.
compete.
Yeah.
I won first place in potato salad of all thing back in the day. Yeah, $10,000 and good prize money.
Yeah, they do have. Yeah, they have good prize money. But I just thought, I'm gonna get back into competing. I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna do that.
Good for you both. Good for you both. Maybe I'll have to hop a plane down to Vegas and see you both. But by the time we get down,
Dallas, it's in
Dallas.
now.
I mean, excuse me.
They were in Vegas years ago. Then they moved to Orange Beach.
Yeah,
and they were in was it Orlando?
Yeah, I think so. They bounced around.
And then they went to Orange Beach or vice versa. And then they've been in Dallas now, for a few years. So I just, don't want to drive my barbecue rig out there and spend that much. I mean, you got 10 days involved in something, and, I'm cooked for so many people at Meals on Wheels. I mean, if there's nobody that I know can do that much, maybe now I have somebody, but I've already committed to seafood, so I'm sticking with it.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Hey, Lynn, write me if you got any good tips on anything. Since you're in Tampa now, you might have some great things that you think I should try for seafood. So
you could use some pig powder.
Well, you know what? Not that y'all didn't segue into my product, but I'm probably going to use my seasoning.
There you go.
I saw that. Seasoning? I want to hear about it.
European blend.
It's called European blend, and it's what I actually used on my ribs on Netflix. But they wouldn't let me. I had to mix it up and put it in something because you can't put your own product on there. If you wanted to, how much was it going to cost to put your product on a show like that? So we mixed it up in an herbs de Provence bottle because they knew somebody in their right mind would not use herbs de Provence. And
right. I was going to ask you if it had. I was going to ask you if it had the same profile as that because it
has some very similar profiles, just a little bit different. Mine only has like 20 milligrams of sodium. Of course, it's gluten free. I'm either going to use that or I'm going to use my brine.
Oh, there you go. Very nice.
Because I use this as a dry brine or a wet brine. So once I talk with my sponsor stuff about what things that I'm going to cook, I can decide. And then I got a hot sauce. I'm just going to give all the plugs, y'all.
Okay.
There's no hot sauce. So I've got 3 products out plus other merch on my website. So
what is your website?
TinaCanningCooks.com.
Very good.
And all of the proceeds goes to Meals on Wheels.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to take.
No, I made a commitment to Meals on Wheels.
Good for you. We are going to take a break. We're going to be back with Tina Cannon, wrap up the show. And I don't have to ask her what her website is now, but we will anyway. So we'll be doing that. Leanne and I and Tina will be back right after this. Welcome back to the Nation, Barbecue Nation. Okay, so now I get to tell people. We talked about it with Meathead was on last week, but this is more serious. Not that Leanne and Tina are very serious. They're sincere, but they're not overly serious. Leanne and I are going to be doing a new television show together called Grilling at the Green, which is named after my golf show, my radio show. And we start filming in October, and we are going to have some fun with it. And then I think if I can con Leanne into doing it either towards probably right after Thanksgiving, get her back up here, and we will film some of the quote winter segments up here. And it is going to be aired on Apple, Amazon, Roku, Pluto, and I got a couple other channels, but it'll be on the Golf News Net complete channel. And so we're contracted to do about a dozen shows. So I'm looking forward to working with Leanne on that and giving her a hard time, which is part of my job.
Oh boy, here we go.
But it's going to be a little bit of a different type of show. We're going to be doing a lot of grilling and stuff, but we're also going to bring some very easy, fun things to cook. If you're having your friends over after you play golf, we'll do some long term. We're not going to do too much low and slow on there because golfers don't have that kind of patience, I don't think. But but we're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff. And we want to thank Gorilla Grills and what's that outfit you work for, Leanne? Oh,
Pit
yeah, Pit Boss.
Boss.
Yes. We want to thank both of them and the Oregon Crab Commission and a few others for supporting our show. So we'll keep you posted, but that's kind of a big announcement. And also, Leanne and I are going to be in Tennessee in October. She's going to be judging the Jack. But before that, we are broadcasting live from quote unquote the party at Byron's Chisholm's outfit there.
Nice.
I'm coming into town. We're going to do a live 2-hour show with everybody there, and we're going to watch Leanne dance and do the swing and the two-step with Byron.
So.
Yeah. I'm going to get you committed to that. Anyway, it's going to be fun. And as we get closer, we'll tell you all the streaming channels that you'll be able to see that. And you can watch it afterwards because it, once you put it out there in the interweb world, it stays forever. But it is going to be live, so it ought to be interesting and ought to be fun. Never been done like that before. And Byron's never invited anybody before to do it, so there you go. All right, let's get back and talk with Tina some more here. And all the stuff you've done in the last 15 years or whatever, Tina, what's the biggest thing you think you've learned, especially about barbecue and then just cooking overall?
Does you put me on the spot there? The biggest thing I've learned.
Wait till you get to after hours, kid.
Yeah, there's really there's been so many different type of cookers I've been able to cook on, and accomplish really good flavored food by trying different types of cookers. I remember when I started, I was cooking on bullets, Weber bullets,
right?
And I remember being I'm cooking on stick burner. I'm going to cook on stick, always. And then who would have thought that I would end up competing on a gravity fed? I thought I'll never do that. So I've learned to never say never.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good.
Never, because until you experience cooking on that. And I had a stint where I was working with Gorilla Grills a while back because I won one at World Food, and I loved it. But they, I don't know. I think they sold out or to a different company a while back. And then I haven't had a pellet grill since. And I actually really loved cooking on it because I could leave and go do my thing, go to the store, whatever I wanted to go visit mama, and come back. And I thought I would never do that. And I actually really enjoyed it. And then I had an OG at the time, the original grill. And I actually have to say, I really, really enjoyed cooking that. There's some old videos I did for them, y'all. So if y'all go and watch them,
they got bought a little over a year ago by American Outdoor Brands.
Yeah, I thought it was longer than that, but I knew that they did. But of course, I don't have one anymore. I just have I have a couple of big green eggs. I have another combo grill that I think is no longer in existence, but I still use it until it breaks. And then, I have my gravity fed and I have a couple kettle grills. I have a tribal grill. I got a lot, but I don't have a pellet grill. So if anybody's listening.
Well, I'm sure somebody will hear this. Okay.
I hope that they do.
I'm sure somebody will hear this. Do you have anything that you want to accomplish in the barbecue world that you have not yet?
In the barbecue world. Oh my gosh. I give classes and I just really want to continue that because I think it's a lost art. So I want to teach as many people as I can the lost art of low and slow. I get some flack. That's not a lost art. I still do it. More people cook hot and fast now, or they like to go to a big box store and buy it already done. They don't have the patience and the joy of, spreading that joy of, hanging out. It brings back family time, when you're sitting around and doing that and serving. And of course, I want to continue serving people in my community through barbecue. That's something as long as that I, I will do. I'm fixing to be 60, y'all. So I got to get 20 years left, right? I got to do 20 years.
You do. You got 20.
You got 20 plus there. I will tell you.
Look at Tootsie. Look at Tootsie, right?
Yeah, I know. I got to meet her last year, matter of fact, it was October. I went on a trip with a group of other lady barbecue cooks. Some of them I'm sure you know, and we got to go and actually meet her and talk to her, and make pictures and eat and hang out with her, even though we still had to wait in line for 10 hours. But it was only 10 hours rather than more. You know, some people wait more. So, but we met so many cool people in line and got to tour her pits and talk with her about. She answered everything we wanted to know. So that was awesome.
Excellent.
She's very, very frank and direct.
Well,
That's
you'd have to
good.
be. You
Yeah.
have to be.
Yeah,
I mean,
she's no nonsense. That's for sure.
yeah. I will. I was going to tell you a quick story about. My mother lived in a retirement place, kind of looked like the Taj Mahal. At least the bills were every month. But anyway, they hired me one time to do an open house for them, right? And I said, well, how many people are you going to feed? Well, we have 250 residents, not a problem. And it's an open house, so their family can come. So there'll probably be another 100 people because not everybody comes, you know. And this thing was on, I don't know, a Thursday afternoon or whatever. Unbeknownst to me, they put an ad in the newspaper and they said,
Wow.
come meet Jeff, the cowboy cook. He and his crew are going to be cooking for you. We had 850 people show up. And luckily, I had enough food. But the point is that's not really the big point. The point is that those residents there loved it. And it really pissed off their executive chef because they kept coming back through the line and getting more tri-tip and ribs or what. I don't even remember what all we cooked, but there was a lot of it. And then they were looking at him saying, can't you cook like this? So I kind of lost my visiting privileges for a couple of weeks, but it was funny.
No.
But it was, when you're talking about the Meals on Wheels and that, it really kind of hits home with me because I saw an awful lot of smiling faces and they kept their dentures in, but it was really good to see that with the older folks.
Yeah.
We're all going to get there, so be appreciative. But yeah,
it makes people smile. Barbecue makes people smile.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Okay, Tina, we got to get out of here, but we're going to go right into after hours. But again, real quick, where can people find you and your sauces, seasonings, and other merch?
All right, at tinacanningcooks.com. And I'm on all social media under Tina Canning Cooks. And y'all, I answer all of my own stuff. I don't have people.
I got Leanne.
No, but you know, a lot of people assume that you have people filtering all that. You know, I do get things that aren't always sweet. And I try to answer even those in the nicest manner I can. So if anybody has cooking questions or any question, I really, really do love for people to write me and ask me.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Excellent. Tina Cannon from Tina Cannon Cooks. Thank you for being with us, Miss Leanne. Thank you as always. Great job. And we're going to jump into after hours. For those of you who leave us now, we thank you for listening. And don't forget our motto, turn it, don't burn it. Take care, everybody. All righty, tidy dighties, here we go. It's after hours here on Barbecue Nation. I'm JT along with Miss Whippen. We'd like to thank the folks at Painted Hills Natural Beef and also Miss Whippen and her pig powder there. Today we've got in the hot seat, so to speak, Tina Cannon from Tina Cannon Cooks. You've seen her on Netflix and the Food Channel and Discovery and all those. They're all second to Barbecue Nation, but we do what we can here. All right. Okay. We'll start with something easy, okay?
Okay.
If you could cook for and then dine with a historical figure, who would it be and what would be on the menu?
A historical figure.
They can be alive or dead. We can go dig them up. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, you know, historical to some people may be, you know, different. Can it be? Because I love Elvis.
That can be
It
one.
be Elvis.
Okay. Let's go with Elvis. Because, you know, we Southerners, we love our Elvis. And I would fix him.
Nana.
Actually, a dessert too. Besides, I would do pulled pork ribs, homemade biscuits, and I would actually make a dessert because I do have a bread pudding that's banana peanut butter chocolate bread
Oh,
pudding.
Ooh, that
Jesus.
sounds
And he would
good.
love that. And another reason, Elvis, is because he's non-controversial.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Ba-boom,
Now that's a good person.
Yeah.
yeah.
I like
Okay,
that.
Tina, what's the absolute worst thing you've ever eaten?
Oh. Haggis.
I found one. Found one.
That used to be one of our questions. Have you ever eaten haggis?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh my
Yeah.
God, that's the worst.
It
was
used
the
to be a
worst
question.
thing. And I didn't even know. That's what's bad. I didn't even
That is
know
bad.
because I wouldn't have tasted it if I would have known. And I've actually had it more than once, y'all. Do you know you can get it in a can?
Yeah.
I
Yes.
just can't even.
We use it for landfill up here. But anyway, it's
You can use it for crab bait, Leanne.
there.
No,
Down there.
yeah, you could. Yeah, you could.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
Would you recommend a career like yours to somebody that's just starting out?
Yes,
Okay.
I would, because if you love it, if you do, that old saying, if you do what you love, you never work.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I come home tired, sweaty kitchen. I mean, I have days in the kitchen, it's 105 degrees, but I feel still when I get home, I don't feel other than being tired, but I feel that I've done something for other people and not just myself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that makes
Yeah.
me feel good. So if you love something, do it.
Mhm.
Have you ever come across a food item that you just could not master to cook it? Can be baking, barbecuing, whatever you want. Sous vide. I don't care.
I won a contest sous vide and turkey, so I can't say that. I would probably say tongue.
Yeah.
I just can't, maybe I just can't get past the peeling and all that. It's either that and liver. It's a tie because I either get it pasty and I don't like it, or it's not done enough and it's tough. So any liver, chicken, just put liver. That's any liver, anybody's liver.
Okay. If you could teach a politician to barbecue or cook, who would it be? And you're kind of in the hot seat down there in Georgia right now with all your politicians.
Yes, we are. I think I would attempt to teach Trump how to barbecue because I can assure you he's probably never even boiled an egg.
I probably thought.
I bet you're right.
And that's not a political statement, whether I like him or not. Because I could walk you out to my pool right now, and I have 2 floats in my pool. One is of one politician, and one is another. And I make them fight in the pool all the
time. Okay. If we declared you supreme ruler of barbecue for 1 week, just 1 week, what would you as supreme ruler decree?
That everybody has to eat barbecue every Saturday.
Okay. That's the first time
I won't take the fish Friday away from some people, so we'll pick Saturday.
Okay. All right.
That works.
All right. What was the absolute best day in your life so far?
Well, I could pick one, but it better be when I got married, right?
That's up to you.
It was.
It's up to you.
I've had so many like really great days, and I honestly don't think I could pick one because one would be like a barbecue event. What was the best day? And then, and that would probably be World Food or winning the Georgia Championship.
Yeah.
Another one would be like when we bought this house because it's like a compound here. I could not pick one.
Okay.
That's good.
That's fair.
I've had a lot of good ones.
Well, good.
Good. Very good.
What's your absolute what's your absolute Oh, just
getting
turn
dark
on the
there.
lights there. Okay.
Did
there
that
you go.
help or is that worse?
No, that's
fine.
good.
It's fine.
That's good.
It's fine.
Okay.
What is your what's your absolute favorite non-barbecue food or dish?
Veal with morels.
Oh,
Okay.
I love morels. I like
Me
going
too.
morel hunting.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I can't find any around my house. I look and look. I find like other types of mushrooms, like chanterelles, grow like crazy here, and a
Mhm.
few other, lines. Like some other ones grow, hens and chicks. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones, but I can never find morels. That would be
Yeah.
like a dream of mine to go and like.
It's amazing. I've done it a lot.
Well, when you come up to Oregon, even though we have like 0 time in the production schedule,
Mhm.
Leanne will take you mushroom hunting.
I would love it.
If you could erase one mistake from history, not just yours, Tina, but any history, what would it be and why?
Slavery.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it shouldn't have any, because it's been slavery of any kind, because it's been through the ages. You can go back to ancient times. So it'd be slavery. Just God, there's not really a reason other than it just shouldn't happen. It creates too many problems for the future.
That and working for a major media company. Those two things should be changed. Do you remember the first thing you ever got in trouble for as a kid?
Yes.
Do tell.
I lied to my parents about being somewhere that I was not.
And you got big trouble?
But I wasn't doing anything bad. My parents were very strict, and I got off the bus at another person's house because they had got a new stereo system, and I wanted to see it. And I didn't tell them. And then their parents drove me home, and my parents got home early from work, and they knew then. So.
Got it. What is the biggest change that you think should be made mandatory in food advertising?
Oh God, this one's easy. When you watch a commercial and they show a picture of a pizza or a burger or whatever looking like that, it needs to look like that.
All right, I'm gonna jump in here.
All right.
So I just did a job for Popeyes. All right, and it was with my sister, who's a food stylist in LA. And I do want to say that I learned a lot, but I was so intrigued by the quality of the food that Popeyes has. And yes, we had to make 1 million pieces of this or that, so it did look perfect, but it's advertising, so you have to make it look good. But I will tell you that the actual ingredients by law in food styling has to be the exact amount that's served, so they can't make it a 4-ounce burger. I mean, a 6 ounce if it's a 1/4 pounder. So they do have to use the ingredients, at least the quantity. But it's what they do is they push the food forward, so it looks like it's bigger and whatever. Yeah. So there's a lawsuit going on right now with Taco Bell, even with somebody claiming that exactly what you said, that they bought Taco Bell food because of what the commercial said it was going to look like, and it didn't look at all like that. Well, you have to think about when people are picking up their takeout food and it's wrapped up in a piece of paper. It's like in competition. You preserve your garnish, the meat, you make sure it's in the box perfectly. And you can't do that when you're serving the masses. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you certainly can't make the food on television look bad.
No, of course not. I think it needs to be I hate when I go get pizza, and I love bell pepper on pizza. I get pepperoni, onion, mushroom, bell pepper. And they put on the picture, it'll have these nice round, wheels where they slice the bell pepper. And then it's got some old wilted crap just thrown on there. And I'm so disappointed.
I agree.
So it's more like that. I mean, I've had some food styling classes years ago. And, I do realize that, you have to be realistic, but it's and a lot of that is more of employee based. They don't if they don't care about their job, they may not make it look as good as it should. Yeah.
Right.
Well, Taco Bell's only got like 4 ingredients actually in their whole menu.
And they put it all in and make something different.
Yeah, they just wrap it up differently and put sauce on it or something.
And name it something crazy.
Yeah. Biggest thing that Taco Bell ever did that really ticked me off was they got rid of their enchilada. And if you remember the enchiladas, they were a burrito in a little container with a lot of sauce on it, and they had 4 sliced olives across the top and cheese. Okay.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm ancient, so it's okay. But they took that off the menu because it took too long to make. It's just ground beef wrapped in a tortilla with sauce on it and some cheese and 4 little slices of olives on there.
It must be the olive placement that sets them back in time.
I guess. I don't know. Maybe
Good
the cost
point,
of olives.
Leanne. Good point.
Maybe the cost of
what is
olives
that
has gone
thing?
up. I don't know.
That's folded up, the crunch wrap or something.
Yeah, the crunch wrap.
I haven't had one. I don't even know if they still have it, but it
Oh,
seems
yes,
like
they
that
do.
would be a time.
I've actually done those on a flat top because you can make them at home and improvise with different ingredients. I mean, it really is. It's a great dish. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no problem with it. I just mad that they took
Those
out
darn
the
olives
enchiladas.
take too long.
Those olives did it.
Yeah.
Okay, what is something your spouse was right about, but you still think they were wrong?
I still think he was wrong, but he
Yeah.
was right. Well, boy, I hope when he listens to this is going to get me in trouble. Probably. He was probably right.
That was hard for her to say.
It was real.
Yeah. He was probably right when we bought this. What we joke and call this place a compound where I am. He was probably right that we probably should not have. It's been a little bit of a money pit.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Well,
Yes.
any used house turns into that.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, that
the
happens.
she shed in this second kitchen wasn't, I guess we didn't have to do that.
Right.
And
So it's your money pit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, he didn't have to do that if he didn't want to sleep inside. So there you
Exactly. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
go. Okay.
I was trying to put it in nicely. I'm sure he was right. We probably just should have stayed where we lived in our golf cart community in Peachtree City, Georgia.
There you go.
Yeah.
You said the word golf cart. I'm in. If you could instantly become a master of a musical instrument, which one would it be and why?
Piano. And because I took lessons when I was quite young, my mom made me go. And I never mastered it. And I just regret that now.
I can still play my scales.
I can't anything.
I can play the scales. I
The
can't.
only musical instrument I can play is the radio.
The radio? Is that what you said?
Scan.
That's awesome.
Okay. What is the absolute hardest thing you've ever done?
Oh my God. I would say that I would have to say the Netflix show.
Okay. Okay.
Because it was strenuous.
What is
105 degrees.
yes? What is one thing you miss about your time in college or school or whatever? Because I don't know. We never know exactly people's entire life experiences, but is there something you miss about that time?
Not having to worry about money.
That's a thing.
I never even thought about it.
What's the first thing you do when you get up in the morning?
After I pee.
Yeah.
We're just keeping it real. I make me a cup of coffee.
Okay.
I literally go in and push the button.
Okay.
7 days a week.
There you go. Name one book that should be mandatory reading for everybody.
Oh my goodness. I don't have a particular author. I think everybody should read a funny book at least once a month, a comedy type book, to get away from all the hustle and
There you go.
crap. So you can laugh,
Okay, so here's one we haven't got to yet on any of the shows.
Uh-oh.
And I wanted to ask Meathead this last week, but after the second day of 24 hours in a row running on those shows like we do with him, I got tired, and I had to send a Western Union telegram to Leanne to wake her up down there. But do you think cooking could help kids who have trouble learning math?
Yes, 100%. Because I don't measure, but I'm good at guesstimating, and I think, how many times do you really need to know exactly?
Well, if you're
Right?
baking,
If you're baking, well, we didn't say baking, we said cooking.
I said cooking. That's true. That's true.
But it teaches you some structure, and structure is part of math, right? Everything is structured. So I think 100%. That's why, like, when I volunteer at the culinary school, we do the basic knife skills and things like that. But, my technique is very different than some others. They're like book. And I find when I do a class, we make it a little more fun and more lighthearted, and they don't really realize that they're learning ratios. Cooking is ratios, right? Whether it's the heat, the fuel, the seasoning. So I think actually doing it helps people rationalize, like, without realizing what they're learning.
Okay. All right.
But that's my opinion, and I'm not a teacher, so if y'all
that's fine. That's fine.
That's my opinion.
What's your favorite classic movie? Leanne's is the Cheyenne Social Club. Mine is Casablanca.
No, it is. I didn't say the Cheyennes. Oh my God.
What is it? What is it, Leanne?
It's the Christmas one.
That's right. Just
I
wanted to
said
see if
that.
you were paying attention.
Which one?
What's it called? Now it escapes me.
Miracle on 34th Street?
No, a Christmas. No, it's
Christmas
with
Carol?
Jimmy Stewart, where he rings
Yeah.
the bell.
Yes.
Rings, how he
Yes.
gets his angel wing. Mine would have to be Gone with the Wind.
Of course.
Because, I do this movie, I don't know if it's considered classic anymore, but I think it's one of the best movies out there is Forrest Gump.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know if that's considered, classic.
It is a classic.
Because
It's
it went
not an
through
old
so
classic.
much history.
Yeah.
And I realized how much of that I had lived through. I could really relate to every part of that. And my mom could relate to every part of that. I loved that movie. And Gone with the Wind, because a lot of it was filmed right here. And where I am in the Gone with the Wind Museum is like not too far from me.
Okay.
Like 40 minutes. So
That's good.
Okay. If you were an animal, what animal would you be?
my dog.
Your dog.
Spoiled.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. My little Cody.
Couple more here. And worst concert you ever attended?
Oh God. I hate to say this because I love his music, but I'd have to say Merle Haggard, because he was so smashed he couldn't perform.
Yep.
I hate to say that, because
he's not the only one.
Yeah.
His writing skill, but I went, and you spend that much money, and for somebody cannot even perform, and they fall off the stool, and they have to bring the warm-up band back out. Yeah. I'd have to say that was it.
At least when I saw him, he got to sit down on the hay bale.
Oh yeah.
Because
He fell right off the stool.
He couldn't stand up anymore. All right. All right. If you were on death row, what would your last meal be? Because this is the last question. So
Bill and Morels.
Yeah, there we go.
With a
She's
nice
feeling Morels.
demi-glaze sauce. That would be it.
Leanne will be in the cell next to you going, give me some of that.
Yeah,
Give me some of that."
exactly.
We'll be passing it around.
There you go. Tina
I share
Cannon.
with you, Leanne.
There you go. Tina Cannon, you've been a delight. Thank you for putting up
fantastic.
with
Thanks for
us.
having me, y'all.
Yeah. We try to have fun on this show.
And good luck at the World Food Championships.
I'll see you there.
I will see you there. Yes.
All right. That's going to be it this week for After Hours here on Barbecue Nation. I'm JT, and Miss Whippen is right there, and Miss Cannon is right there, and we're all out of here. So take care. Have a good week. And remember our motto, turn it, don't burn it. Bye-bye.